Ahoy Ya Swabs! Captain Jeff the Pirate here, at your service. And welcome to part 2 of the Adventure Time Cornucopia Special Review. Now technically this would be the first episode of the real special, but since I missed the October 28th one, the previous video you saw was Ghostfly, so I'm just incorporating the entire Cornucopia into one week-long special event. Since they won't be airing it on Thanksgiving. Alright, so in the previous episode, it was the Ghostfly. So today's episode, it'd be Everything Jake. Or Everything's Jake. It's Everything Jake, yeah. Like I've noticed that a lot of these episodes, they seem very Jake-centric. So without that, we begin the episode seeing Jake taking a wee nap on the sofa, and then, what's this? It'd be a fly coming in. It's like, jeez, you've got to be kidding me. Another fly episode. Oh, and for the record, I took care of the fly from the end of my previous review. But no, it's not a fly. It'd be something much far worse than a fly. It'd be that jerk magic man. He'd be very small and have wings for some reason. And then he uses like some weird push pin device on Jake and pumps something into his flesh and blood. I don't know. He then flies off. Jake's face then proceeds to liquefy itself off and then go into his stomach and just gets smaller and smaller and smaller. When Jake awakens, he'd be inside himself. But it'd be like a world where the grass is him, there'd be trees, plants, mountains, clouds, buildings, people, animals. It's kind of like, since Jake is able to transform himself into anything, he's shrunken so small that he's pretty much made himself his own little world. So he proceeds to walk through it, and all the stuff is being made, and people be like, "Hey, Jake, welcome home. How you doing?" There he meets his friend, Goose. Someone he's never met before, but claims they've been friends, and he owes him $5. So he takes him to his home, and they have a welcome home party. And they be just enjoying the festivities, and Jake says he's hungry, so Goose gets him some food. But all the food we have Jake, and when he tries to bite it, ow! He says, I be needing some real nachos. His stomach growls, and then suddenly there'll be a small earthquake. Or I guess in this case, Jake-quake. So every time an earthquake happens, it's because Jake be getting hungrier and hungrier. Because while he was asleep, he was thinking he should wake up and get something to eat. Actually, before he went to sleep, he was debating if he should eat something or just take a nap. And thanks to that jerk magic man, he's doing somewhat of both. So, Jake and his friend Goose, they go to like the science committee to figure out how to stop these Jake earthquakes. They speak with the mayor introduces them to the scientists. And of the scientists, okay. Now you have to remember that Jake be voiced by the same fella who be doing the voice of Bendar. And in one episode of Futurama, they actually had Finn and Jake appear in that episode. So they figured, one good turn deserves another. So the scientist in charge says how Jake is going to be causing the world's end. That they need to go outside, get food, and bring it back to Jake. Because if he just grows, he will instantly destroy the population. And who is this scientist? Well, this scientist, he has the voice of Professor Farnsworth from Futurama. So I thought that was very funny, very interesting. So Jake is imprisoned while the professor floats up to his belly button to try to find food. So he actually exits Jake's stomach and looks around the real world. So he sees movies and all this other stuff going on, and then he sees Finn eating spaghetti, and he's like, "No, I thought ye were going to be a beautiful, no." And then he just melts or dissolves or deflates back into Jake's stomach. Meanwhile, Jake's still being imprisoned, but his friend Goose helps bust him out. And Goose says, "Jake, you got to reinflate to full size and get something to eat. But then I'll destroy all of you, but we'll still be part of you." So Jake, with a heavy heart, he reinflates himself and goes back to normal. leaving the world behind as everything just reforms into this one singularity. So then Finn looks around and is like, "Hey, Jake, where are you?" So then he goes to the kitchen and sees Jake is eating a snack and says, "How you doing?" And Jake says, I'm just getting a snack, Goose. Just getting a snack." And then he sheds a small tear. Now, I wasn't too wild about this episode. I mean, it had Magic Man and one of his various goofiness goings on. I hate Magic Man. But I thought it was very funny how they incorporated the Hubert Farnsworth into the episode. So this way, both Futurama and Adventure Time have had crossovers in a sense. Yeah, so this episode was very Jake-centric, even down to the title. And even the location. Yeah, so the plot wasn't really that complex. Alright, overall, I give the story 1 thumb up. Yeah, it had its funny moments, but overall, it was a good episode, but it could have used a little more. But it was kind of interesting because, like, the way people were formed, or like, alright, so Jake has an outline, and we saw him walk. Like, the outline of him ended at his feet. It didn't do, like, a solid round thing for his foot, but it actually had him immersed into the ground. So, like, Jake was in constant contact with himself the entire time, making the entire world around him. So I liked that detail. And then as he reinflated, everything just retracted back into its normal shape. So yeah, it's not the best episode I've ever seen, but trust me, there'll be far worse. So you don't have to be hurting yourself to see this one. So like I said, 1 thumb up. Alright, it'd be the end of the episode, and I have not had any issues with me flag, so I believe the Ghost Fly is officially done and gone. So until next time, this be Captain Jeff saying, "Arr," and have a nice day.